We'll just like...
I can do a disclaimer if you want.
I don't think you have to do a disclaimer about taking a phone call.
Yeah, this is highly unprofessional.
Highly unprofessional.
But it was an important phone call.
There's no money involved. There's no profession here. This is amateur.
Oh yeah, there's like
This-
$1,400 and change
Yeah.
involved in this.
Well, there's that, I guess.
That's like your next month of breakfast is.
I prefer
on me.
to call it fun professional. Alright, so yeah.
So, the value was...
You had to take a phone call. That's where we left off. And yeah, we just did. Yeah, we just introduced the value was when we left off, right? So last week we left on conformity, to be respectful and obedient of rules and obligations. This week's first one, cooperation, to be cooperative and collaborative with others. Now, Jesse, where do you fall short here?
Well, that is amazing because that is exactly what that phone call I just got was all about. Cooperation.
Cool.
I thought I was not getting any cooperation from the new owners of the building I live in, and it turned out there was just a miscommunication, and when that was worked out, we got cooperation.
Notice that it sounds right when you call it Mr. Communication. I'm Mr. Communication, I'm good at communicating, but miscommunication, she's not good at communicating.
Well, I called it miscommunication once and got accused of being sexist, so now it's Mr. Communication all the way.
Yeah. Wait, what?
What?
What'd you say?
None of your business. Come on. The people know.
Cooperation. I always, so cooperation is always like a big thing that I see a lot of adults trying to figure out exactly how do we cooperate, because there are so many people that are really good at just snatching the bag of gold and running with it and taking it for themselves, and then there's other people who are more into cooperating, and then there's they have co-ops, they have collaboratives where like a lot of people are working together on farms or in their households and their communities. We have roommate situations all across the board. People are working together. So then that brings me to be a little confused, if anything, when people are selfish. It's like, it seems like it's human nature for me to be cooperative and help other people all the time, and then that's really created sort of an abundance for myself in areas where I don't know how we manage to bring in what we do, but it's been done. So like where, what?
Well, let me guess. The next value's got to be understanding, because the only way you and I have stayed friends this long is cooperation and just a smidgen of understanding.
Cooperation.
Because I should have killed you a long time ago, but for some reason I haven't.
How come there's people who cooperate and people who don't? What is that difference? Like, why? Why are people not cooperating?
Because people don't see the value in it, unfortunately. Some people.
But what's making them not see the value in it? There's so much good from cooperation that's just obvious. Are people just oblivious?
No, I find that it's usually people that are like really into themselves.
Yeah.
So they don't see a need for other people, therefore they don't need to cooperate, because cooperating is what you do when you need somebody, other people in your life.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, that's just my personal life experience. I can't, speak for anybody else. But
I remember, did we listen to the last broadcast and see if your microphone was on high enough?
No, I don't think we did.
I'm going to turn yours up a little bit. But yeah, no, because I want to.
Why do you want to?
All right, Jesse, no one should listen to you. You're right. I'm going to leave your microphone down. All of your shortcomings are already coming in the way of today's episode anyways, Mr. Phone Calls. You shouldn't have been able to take the phone call. Your ringer should have been off.
Is your ringer off?
Jesse. What?
Is your ringer off? I don't think so.
Is my urine runoff?
Is your ringer off?
My ringer?
The ringer on your phone. Not the one on your dick.
I'm going to leave you a shiner is what I'm going to do.
Aha.
Shining and ringing and stars.
Practice what you preach, Mr. Nelson.
Yeah. What's the last thing you practiced at? Do you practice anything?
Oh, you don't want me to say. No, I don't practice on anything.
Do you cooperate ever?
I should be practicing on bitch slapping your ass.
Tell me a positive experience you have with cooperation.
That phone call I just got. I thought I was going to have to get all medieval on this dude.
Yeah.
And he made it very easy for me not to.
You should have hit him.
Well, that's kind of hard to do over the phone.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been amazing. We could have had it recorded. Oh my God, Jesse, how did you do that? We have to show scientists. What is this scientist?
Do you think if I had the power to slap people through the phone, I'd be sitting here doing this podcast? No way. I'd be slapping that dude in the White House.
Yeah? What's your least favorite part of that dude in the White House?
It's got to be his hair. His hair or his spray tan. One or the other.
Well, you gotta pick one.
Probably the spray tan.
The spray tan. If you got a spray tan, what would you want to look like?
I wouldn't get a spray tan.
What about a spray bleaching? So you look more ghostly?
Unlike you, I don't get my anus bleached.
I just think it's funny to look at the screen where you're being broadcast and how much brighter you are on that than in real life.
Yeah, you'd think I was a ghost.
Nah. Not yet.
You too.
Not yet.
Not yet. Nope.
Cooperation. Last time I cooperated with stuff would have to be,
You really got to think about it that hard?
well, I do a lot of stuff independently.
You cooperate
I don't-
every time you put on a show.
I don't like cooperating with
You
people.
cooperated yesterday.
Yeah, it was the tattoo show.
Most of the evening yesterday.
Which one?
Last night.
Which evening? What was? Oh yeah, we did karaoke.
There it is.
That's a funny concept, a karaoke DJ that isn't cooperative, so they get all set up and you sign up for your song and then they just start glaring at you and you're like, what? And they're like, dude, don't make me hit you. And you're like, well, I'm just trying to sign up for a song. It's like, that's it. And then they get up and they're like...
No, a funny concept is me having to tell you the last time you cooperated with somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody doing laundry?
I don't know what that sound is. It sounds like the best porn star ever. It's like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh my God.
You hear that noise and that's what you think of.
Get off of her.
I think I'm on the wrong podcast.
Cooperation. You know, that's a great one. Sex is a cooperative thing, for the most part.
As a matter of fact, it's
I
would
hope it
say
is.
the most cooperative thing because you can't do it without two people.
It's
Well,
uncooperative.
unless you, yeah, I mean, I suppose you can't do it by yourself, but it's not as much fun without two people.
Cooperation. If who's someone you don't like cooperating with in your life?
In my life, I don't like. There's really nobody because if I get to the point where I don't want to cooperate, you just don't exist to me anymore. I won't have anything to do with you.
If someone showed up in your house and they
Probably get shot.
or they were unannounced, showed up in your house and they're like,
Oh yeah, then they're definitely getting shot.
they're just like, I just need you to cooperate, Jesse. And just nothing. You don't
No,
cooperate.
and get out of my house before you get shot.
What if you sneezed right now and you blinked, and then when you open your eyes, you're in someone's house, and they're like, get out of my house, and you don't know how you got there?
What if I don't do this stinking what if game you like to do?
Alright. What if,
And what does that have to do with the value that we're working on?
what's the largest piece of food you've ever eaten in your life?
Probably a slice of pizza.
That's not a lot.
Oh, it is when the pizza's only sliced in quarters.
Takes a lot of cooperation to make a pizza.
That's a New York thing.
Alright, cooperation. Do you think that covers cooperation, to be cooperative and collaborative with others? Do you value cooperating, Jesse?
With the right person, I do, yes.
Do you value resistance?
I do, very much so.
Why?
Because I think that's what got me paid today.
Is being resistant?
Yep,
So do you think that you would be medication resistant?
I hope not. That would not be good in my case at all.
Simply irresistible.
Shut up.
That's a song about MRSA.
So how do we move on to the next value?
Yeah, I'm reading it right now if you would let me, Jesse.
No.
Cooperation. To be collaborative and cooperative with others.
We just did that one.
Are you not cooperating with me right now?
No, I'm not.
Stop resisting.
Because I want to move on to the next
Deny. Alright. The next one. Courage. To be courageous or brave. To persist in the face of fear, threat, or difficulty. Are you courageous, Jesse?
Yes.
Name the most courageous moment that you've ever been a part of.
Boy, that was probably, oh my God, I don't know. I can't think of a situation that I would talk about on a podcast.
Name something illegal that you haven't been caught for that is still within the statute of limitations.
No. There really isn't anything.
What? That's a funny one.
That's under statute of limitations.
Oh, yeah. You don't have the courage. That's the buzzword. You don't have the courage to talk about things online that are still not within the statute of limitations.
No, I don't have anything.
About a statute of
limitations.
Statute of imitations. It's like, all right, if we can't catch the guy, just catch someone who can really get a good imitation of him.
I don't think you truly understand the dictionary definition of courage, but okay.
We can't find the guy who committed the crime, but this guy looks like he would. Good enough.
I have been the usual suspect.
I'm the unusual suspect.
So they had a thing back in the day that I had to do called a lineup. And you need a bunch of dudes
and a mirror
that
and
look
a straw.
somewhat like the guy that you're trying to catch. And they would just round people up off the street. So I've been like rounded up a couple of times.
You've been rounded up?
By the NYPD.
To a whole number?
No.
A whole number of suspects were rounded up.
Do you really think you're being funny right now?
I do. I think anyone who likes math would think it's funny. Now comes to our sponsor. Guys, today's episode is brought to you by Jesse.
I don't know. Who is it brought to us by?
Who is our episode brought to us by today?
The Crisp Lounge?
And they brought last episode.
2029 Broadway?
Well, what else? Who else brought us?
I don't know.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Humboldt Barnacle. Sticking to you.
Okay, Humboldt Barnacle.
Today's episode is brought to you by Jesse Katz.
Me?
Today's episode
Me?
is brought to you by air. Without it, we wouldn't breathe.
Do not hold me responsible for today's broadcast.
Today's episode is brought to you by the federal government.
No. Today's broadcast is not brought to you by the federal government.
Our main and only sponsor, the federal government. Source of all wonderful things.
Well,
Pay your taxes
the money?
today.
If the federal government is sponsoring our podcast, why are we not hip deep in $100 bills?
Because we're not in the Ukraine right now.
They just got rid of USAID. They should have plenty of money sitting around for just such things as this lovely podcast.
Agency for International Development.
You didn't do the paperwork, did you?
USAID. Agency for International Development. It's not even aid. It's development.
Okay. It's gone now. Elon Musk's going to make sure of that.
What if we could run it? Give me USAID. I will do things right. And you don't have to do anything. I'll just take it all on. I am generous enough with my time to take on USAID. Just let me do it. And then I'll distribute the money. You just give me, I'll take the money. And then I'll make sure I hand it out to everyone who's in USAID.
So you actually
That's the good people, not the bad people. I'll make sure the bad people don't get it. I'll make sure the good people do get it. And I'll make sure they get the right amount.
So you really think the U.S. government is going to hand you a couple of $1 trillion?
No, I'm asking them to. They haven't yet.
Oh.
They could.
Good luck with that.
Just, I'll make sure everyone gets the right amount.
Well, when you get that money, you make sure to let me know. Because I'd like to apply for a couple of loans or grants or whatever.
Honestly, it's about time you applied yourself, Jesse.
Oh! You're funny.
All right, in other news, it's rainy out today. It's very moist.
Boo.
I had to wear boots for the first time this season. It was cold. It was cold boot weather today. Got up early.
Got up early? Why are you looking at me like you want to kill me?
Jesse, when's the last time you worked a fucking job?
About 3 years ago.
You lazy bastard.
I am, but I earned it.
Could you imagine?
It's called retirement. The right to be lazy.
You at first
The
you
right
retired, and now you're
to do nothing. The value of doing nothing.
I love how that's not valuable either. There's like no values in anything that like hold true.
How do you know?
Because it's like I don't want to be not doing
I get paid
anything.
good money to be lazy.
I just want to get choice over what I do, or do I? Will I get that? What if? I feel like every time I work a day job, all the money that I earn extra goes towards me relaxing and kicking it after I'm out of work, you know? Having a nicer time out of work.
When are you ever not working?
It's not work if I'm not getting paid.
Oh, that's not true. Oh, that's not true.
Do you have an opinion on this? Call in right now to Jesse. Give out your phone number to everyone.
Doing dishes.
You can just take all the phone
It's
calls
a job
throughout the
you
week.
don't get paid for.
Let's give people your phone number live, and then when they want to call into the show, they just talk to you, and then you bring it into the show. Like, oh, I was talking to one of our listeners.
Let's give them my number right now.
You don't want to, do you? That's not. What if
Let's
everyone
give
starts
them my
calling
number
your
right
number?
now. Oh, my phone's off. That's right.
That's
I was
good.
just gonna give
That's
me your
good.
number.
Oh yeah, I bet. This guy. I can't edit these yet, Jesse. I need to. I should, but I don't.
You're not gonna.
I
Because
don't.
that's too much like work.
You're.
And you're not getting paid for it, so it's not work.
You're not working. You're not cooperating. Courage. I love courage. Courage is nice because, like, the people who benefit the most from courage are the people that are being wronged a lot of the time, right?
Do you mean encourage the cowardly dog?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, someone who's cowardly doesn't end up on the high vibration of things, right? And they want to ascend and they can't, and the only way you can is by having the courage to change your life, become a better person, stronger, more intelligent, more considerate, high vibrations, vibrating outward, sending them whale beams. You know those whales, they use those vibrational things in order to talk in the ocean. You're going to do that, you're going to have the high vibrations, you're going to boom, 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 out into the community.
Pete, did you take mushrooms today?
I wish. It's cloudy out.
You sure sound
Some
like you did.
vitamin D.
Alright, just checking.
You're chicken?
Just checking.
You're a chicken.
I am a chicken.
Alright. So, what's your favorite recipe to cook, Jesse?
I don't cook. I don't.
So, you microwaving
The
a
most
Hot Pocket is
I
your
ever
favorite
cook
recipe?
is maybe eggs or
I have to write that
a
down.
good steak. But other than that, no, we don't cook.
My favorite recipe is microwaving a Hot Pocket.
Well, not a Hot Pocket, but yeah, the microwave is my friend. And it enables me to be lazy. But, you know, what you don't mention is the salad I ate today.
Dead air! Brr, brr, brr.
There you go. It took courage to eat that salad.
Dude, we should find a way to connect your brain to the internet and put a bunch of adware on it.
We should just find a way to put my brain on the internet and then just let me go.
You're just like, ah, and just all these ads playing in your mind. You're like, Jesse, come on, we need you to come downstairs. You're just gripping your skull super hard, thinking about
go to
Tylenol.
war with AI and
Just
take over the world.
Clorox
Or
commercials
team up with
playing.
AI
You're like,
and take over the world.
I don't want to think about clothing. They keep giving me LL Bean ads. I can't afford it. What's going on?
Keep it up. When I take over the world, you're going to be the first in big trouble. What's the next? Come on, move on.
Whoa,
Next
dude.
value.
Courage.
Oh, we're not done with courage yet.
Have the courage to pursue this value longer. I have the courage.
I have the courage to move on to the next value.
Alright. Courage. Alright. Do you value creativity? to be creative or innovative, Jesse? Do you have the courage to be creative, and as a cooperative effort, do you have the courage to be creative?
I more have the value for others.
You what?
I don't personally have a need to be creative, but I recognize the fact that other people may have that need, so I definitely value that value for others.
Do you think people that have bad eyesight don't get the recognition they deserve?
What?
Do you think people who can't see well don't get the recognition they deserve?
Sure. Sure, Pete. Sure.
There's this cool surgery you can get where they break your legs and extend them, and then your legs will heal, and then it makes you taller. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of this.
Do you want to do it? Let's do it to you.
No.
And then...
No, that's a technique they use for little people. I don't know that it would necessarily be appropriate to do on a person that doesn't have a height issue.
You're like suddenly way taller.
I am perfectly happy just died I am.
Can we make you shorter?
No.
Can we ice dunk you? Put you in an ice bath upside down?
Is this just a new way of doing what ifs?
Legs?
Is this just a new way of doing what ifs?
We'll do the leg
What if you
lengthening
shut the fuck up?
surgery. No, we're gonna make you healthy. We're gonna all right, so we need to. One of the ways that they do that is they sun your butthole, right? That's a thing.
Dude, I have
You've heard of that?
4 standing procedures I can't do because they're afraid to put me under because I won't wake up. So what makes you think I'm gonna let you put me under just to like break my legs and then let them heal?
Well, that's the thing is we're gonna get you healthy all at once. So what we're gonna do is we're going to.
I don't think that technology exists, so I don't think you're gonna be doing anything.
What we're going to do is we're going to break your legs to make you taller while ice plunging you to make your body regulate better.
How about let me break your legs?
And then we'll get you a
and
Neuralink
shove you in a nice bath.
to play ads.
Put a chip in your head.
Put a ton of
Play
ads
ads
in
in
your head.
your brain.
You're just like, I want to download Netflix so
Why do
bad.
I always end up being the guinea pig? You never volunteer, ever.
I volunteered for something one time.
Well, that explains a lot.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
I just said I volunteered.
Yeah, it does.
All right, what's your favorite animal, Jesse? 3, 2, 1.
Orangutan.
Orangutan. That's all. You don't, if it's your favorite animal, don't you want to talk about it more than just say what it is? You just want the recognition.
It's a big red-haired ape. Usually found around Sumatra and that such areas on islands, and they're like awesome.
Dude, I want to be an ape.
Just don't make one angry.
Don't make one angry unless it's in a cage.
I wouldn't.
Then you can make it angry all the time.
They're kind of escape artists like octopus.
You're just relentlessly berating this fucking orangutan.
Oh, then
It's
they'll
just
just
like,
kill you.
I think the zookeepers would be like, hey, fuck you. What's your problem, dude?
I
You
saw a
gonna
TV
really
show
fuck with our orangutan this much?
where they're
Like,
rehabbing orangutans on an island. And this guy'd been like feeding these apes for like 10, 15 years, something like that. And one day, so they put the food up on platforms because, the orangutans like to be up in trees. And I don't know what this guy did that pissed this ape off, but it literally held him off the platform by his ankle and crushed his ankle and just held him there with one arm for like 5 or 10 minutes till the other keepers bribed him with some more food to let him go, and he just dropped him to the bottom of the tree. Yeah,
Dude.
I wouldn't fuck with them. I wouldn't recommend it.
I can be bribed with food myself.
But for the most part, they're pretty chill. And that was somebody that this ape knew and liked and got something out of. Imagine what it would do to somebody it had no value of.
I want to start an economy trading food to the apes at a zoo, and
Well, did
they
you
steal
know?
wallets and shit, and I steal the.
I believe it's in India, but there's a place where they revere the monkey, and they have this whole once a year. They bring out these huge plates of food for the local primates, but the monkeys have learned that the people that don't bring them food, the tourists that show up, they'll steal something from you. They'll take your phone, your sunglasses, whatever, and they'll keep it. And the only way you can get your stuff back, because by law the cops can't help you, because they're like sacred animals. You can't mess with them. So the only way you can get your stuff back is to bribe them with food. And they will give you your stuff back if you give them food.
They just start dumping entire dump trucks of grain and shit over there to populate.
Well, they've developed the concept of ownership. You know, I know you own these, and if you want them back, you're gonna have to pay me to get them back.
We need more monkeys. We need more monkeys. They're just feeding them over and over.
They got plenty of monkeys.
They have so many monkeys on the island that it's just outrageous. There's like monkey rafts.
But the trouble starts like with these monkeys when they start getting together what the concept of bribery is. It's like, I'm going to take your shit and you're going to have to bribe me with food to get it back.
Yeah.
Which means they're, capable of understanding advanced concepts.
Oh, so they have cooperation and courage as part of their values?
Well, cooperation. Well, yeah, and courage.
And courage.
Yeah.
Monkeys are more functional than us. They're monctional.
Monctional?
Guys, don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon every single day. You can give us thousands of dollars online.
We need it.
Pete Nelson and Humble Comedy at patreon.com. Jesse.
And you can send my money to Pete's Patreon. He'll make sure I get it, I'm sure.
Jesse, why don't you introduce a subject matter?
Oh, yeah. You
just say anything you want. Just throw it out there,
Football.
That's a pretty low effort one.
Okay.
Do you follow football?
Aerospace.
All right. What do you know when to talk about aerospace? What's your opinion?
I know that there's been a whole bunch of near helicopter plane crashes. It's making the news. It's getting so bad. You don't want to be anywhere near a helicopter if you're in an airplane, or vice versa.
Would you fly a helicopter if you could?
I would. As a matter of fact, if I hit the lottery today, I would buy a helicopter to go visit, my brother in Oakland.
Yeah. Because
it would be a really cool way to get from here to Oakland and still be able to see the terrain, and it's as a matter of fact safer than an airplane. Yeah. I don't know if you know, but helicopters do what they call auto rotation.
Yeah.
So they have a better chance of getting to the ground in one piece than an airplane does.
Yeah.
And they need far less room to land either. So, yeah, that's why they land them on hospitals and roofs and stuff. But yes, I would own a helicopter, and if I could make sure that it was well maintained, I would fly in it. But I think the problem is that you just put a crap load of them in a small area, shit gonna happen. Just recently in a bunch of different locations where there are a lot of helicopters and a lot of airplanes, they've been having a rash of helicopter airplane crashes. But I think, either way, you're kind of safe if you're not in a metropolitan area. If I were to go from here to Oakland, my biggest risk would be flying into Oakland, because that's the part of my trip that has the most traffic. But it would be the same thing if I drove a car. That's my sermon on helicopters and airplanes.
I like to look up helicopter fails on YouTube.
I think...
when they crash.
You find that they're probably more reliable than most other forms of transportation. I think the most safe would be a train. But even then, with the speeds they're going...
I like to watch train derailments, too.
Oh, I like watching trains, people who try to skip over the tracks and don't make it, and the train plows into their car or their truck or whatever it is.
They follow pyromaniacs and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, track this guy. Pyromaniacs, they create so much damage, they destroy so much, right? But then you think about, they don't even talk about train derailment people that probably fetishize that shit. Check this out, and then they just, destroy a whole train's worth of shit.
No, but there are, because, we used to take the train when we were still living in Boston. My dad was in New York. We used to take the train from Boston to New York. And I remember one trip where somebody had put a refrigerator and a railroad tie across the tracks. And that had to be on purpose, that just doesn't happen.
Oh, Jesus. So
And
it
the
like
train hit
derailed
it, and we got derailed for like hours because they had to like fix the track, move the stuff, fix the track, get a new locomotive for the train.
You were on a train when it derailed? Is what you're saying?
No, it didn't derail. But it hit a refrigerator and a railroad tie.
That's
That
crazy.
just really messed up the locomotive.
This is
But
Peter
then they
Nelson.
come out and fix the tracks.
Yeah.
You were saying?
I was going to say, this is Peter Nelson, and that is messed up.
That is officially messed up.
Yeah. Although you're like a train sometimes, Jesse. You're hard to derail. Sometimes you get all this momentum going, and I'm like, Jesse. You have all this momentum.
Used to slow down.
What's your favorite over-the-counter medication, Jesse?
My favorite over-the-counter?
Yeah.
Ibuprofen.
Why?
Because it kills small level pains, and you can get it in a gel cap, so it's easier to take. You're talking about over-the-counter meds, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What's a
You're not talking prescription stuff.
What's a non-over-the-counter medication that you wish was an over-the-counter medication?
Dilaudid's.
Dilaudid's. Just if I get a $15 bottle of Dilaudid's here, I'm gonna go home now.
No, it would be much more than that.
Yeah.
Dilaudid is about the most powerful opioid painkiller that comes in pill form.
So what if they just had this for $7 for a bottle of 100?
Oh my God, there'd be addicts fucking just going to town. They would be like in line for blocks of that place.
It's like, hey, why don't you stop doing this? And they're like, "Argh." That's in Oregon. They made all the drugs legal, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, in Oregon, and they made
Oh
drugs
my
legal.
God, what were they thinking?
Which drugs would
Oh,
you
that's
do?
right. That's right. They did, didn't they? And Portland's getting all screwed up behind it. Or at least that's what people are saying.
What drugs would you do if you had the option to do any?
Oh, right now it'd just be acid, mushrooms, and weed.
What if there were
Maybe
no
with a little bit
repercussions?
of. No, I couldn't do coke anymore. That would kill me.
What if
It's
you?
like I could do speed again.
What if you boofed it?
No, it wouldn't matter.
I only boofed Pepsi.
My heart wouldn't be able to keep up with speed or coke or anything like that. I'd be pushing the limit with Dilaudid's.
Yeah.
Because that might slow it down so much that it ceases to work.
Dude.
But it'd be nice to have a Dilaudid every now and again when a kidney stone kicks up.
You gotta have the courage to cooperate with your drug dealer and do drugs.
They give me oxycodones for kidney stones.
What do you think the coolest way to die would be?
Coolest way to die.
Like if you had to pick
Asleep in bed.
and sleep in bed. I want
And anybody who says anything else is an idiot or an asshole.
to be traveling at 478 miles per hour when I die.
No, you really don't.
What if like the second that I get on an airplane,
No.
the second it takes off I die, so everyone's flying next to this dead guy for 4 hours, like, fuck man, we don't really have a spot to put him.
You know that little homemade submarine that they took down to see the Titanic and it imploded?
Yeah.
Well, they said that happened so fast that more than likely the people in that sub had no idea. They just literally ceased to exist in a matter of 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, I guess they boiled.
That would be the good way to go.
It's like, yeah, you would want to do that.
Just cease to exist in a matter of seconds.
I wonder what happened to their souls if they're like if they don't get the DMT ending, kind of a thing.
I mean, if you think about it, the only reason there is to fear death is that it might be really painful. If it's not really painful, what are you all that worried about?
I just hope I have a big dick in the next dimension.
Good for you.
Right?
I don't really care about
What
your
if-
dick in any dimension.
What if you go into the next dimension, you got a little tiny one, Or what if it has a big mole on it?
Only you think of these things, Pete. Do you understand
No,
that?
I thought that I want to have a big one. Okay, the courage, creativity. See, I'm being creative. That was the one we were talking about.
That was
creativity.
creative. That was
See.
definitely creative.
I value creativity and being innovative, like with my mole idea just now. All right, next value, curiosity, Jesse.
That's important.
Tell me why.
We would not be where we are as a species without curiosity.
Tell me more about that.
So, evidently there was a Cro-Magnon man in a cave somewhere, and he got really, really, really tired of having to eat with his hands, especially when he developed fire.
You got tired of all this
And
bullshit.
could cook his food. So curiosity pushed him to invent an eating utensil of some kind. It's
That's where hands
been
were
behind
invented.
every major discovery in the history of humankind. I mean, you know, it's sometimes it's a twisted curiosity, like, gee, I want a way to kill people faster, so I'm going to invent the sword or the gun.
Hands aren't real.
Or it can be really unique, like, I'm curious what's happening on the moon. I'm going to make a machine that will get me there.
I'm bi-curious what's happening on the moon.
You're just bi-curious. You heard it here first, folks.
Would you put it in the moon, Jesse?
I would do it on the moon.
Would you?
If I could, safely.
Yeah. You could have a moon baby.
Moon sex. Yeah, moon baby, sure.
That's like the name of your biography is Moon Baby. People are like, wait, is that, what do you mean? It's like Moon Baby.
But I think that's going to be an issue with colonizing other planets. Is the atmosphere of those planets going to be, you know, are you going to be capable of having a healthy baby in that environment?
My friend had a band, has a band called Ancient Baby.
Ancient baby?
Ancient Baby.
Okay, and what's the story behind this?
It's a baby.
It's an ancient
It's an
baby.
ancient baby.
How can you be ancient and a baby at the same time?
I know, that's why it's such a good band name.
Okay.
Ancient Baby. Oh my god, look at what time it is, Jesse.
What time is it, Pete?
It's 4:20.
Oh my God, what do you do at 4:20? You
You
go to the Crisp Lounge at 2029 Broadway, Eureka, California. You buy a big fat pre-roll.
I do that.
And you smoke it.
What a creative, cooperative, courageous thing. How can you say something so brave yet so controversial, Jesse?
Because I don't give a good goddamn who don't like it.
If you could either, if you could either become 10 years younger or make someone else age 10 years, which one would you pick and who would you do that to?
I would do it to me in 10 years younger.
10 years younger. I would love
As long
that.
as the health comes with it.
You see just like your lifelong nemesis and you're like, ah, and they're like, oh shit. It's like, well, you shouldn't have fucked with me, asshole. Fuck you.
But I also don't want to be like those guys on what are those Pirates of the Caribbean movies that were just literally skeletons in the moonlight,
Well,
but they live forever.
yeah, I mean, why is that bad?
Cause no.
You don't want to be a skeleton?
Well, first of all, I don't want to live forever.
I would hang out.
I mean, I could take another 100 years or so, but I
I'd
don't
be-
want to live forever.
I'd be a big old bunch of bones.
They did a really good job with that in Doctor Who, the new Doctor Who show.
Yeah.
There was a character that the doctor tried to help with his medical technology, and basically it made her live forever.
Dr.
And she was saying how it kind of, because literally she was going to live till the end of time. She was going to be the last person standing, literally.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he actually takes his TARDIS up ahead in time to meet with her when she was like all by herself, because he didn't want her to be by herself, and she was like telling him how much it sucks living forever.
Yeah, and seeing everything.
And seeing everything, and
I think I saw that
nobody you
episode.
ever meet is gonna, everybody you ever meet's gonna die.
Everybody you ever meet.
Everybody you fall in love with is gonna
meat,
die.
Cheese.
You know, every time you find somebody and you get married, you know they're gonna die before you do.
Well,
Your children are gonna die before you.
you could control the hell out of them, you know, because you're just like this immortal being and they're like just trying to have a normal life and you're like, do all these things exactly how I say, and they're like, you're really good at making me do these things. It's like, yeah, because I've lived 1,000 lives and can manipulate people.
It doesn't matter. In the end, you're still alone.
In the end,
You can be a dick
doesn't
about it, or
even
you can be nice about
matter.
it. But yeah, exactly.
All right, Jesse. So when's the last time you were curious about something? Open-minded, interested, to explore and discover?
All the time.
Tell me.
I'm doing this podcast, aren't I?
You're curious about podcasts?
I've never done a podcast before. I did one with you.
I've been curious. I wanted to check it out.
I hear you're bi-curious.
Who told you that?
You.
No.
Yeah.
When did I say that?
Just a few minutes ago.
No, that was one of the things at the start of the show when I said there's a disclaimer for fictitious things.
Oh. Well, you might want to define those when those things are happening.
Yeah, I'm not bi-curious. I'm full on.
I'm curious about it.
I'm surprised I can talk right now with how painful my throat is.
Oh, you a throat goat? Turnaround's fair play, Mr. Nelson.
You're funny. All right, one more.
Sure.
Encouragement. To encourage and reward behavior that I value in myself or others. Do you?
Again, without that, this civilization would have gotten nowhere.
I encourage you to continue.
Exactly like I said before. Without it, there would have been no progress. We'd still be in caves, hitting each other in the head with sticks. Fighting off the wildlife trying to eat us. Maybe the lizards aren't quite so big, but, it's still...
We covered courage, and then we covered encouragement.
Huh.
So...
Interesting those words sound like.
How courageous?
Why are we back on courage?
Well, we're on encouragement, but the key word is courage.
Well, you have
What does that mean?
to have courage to do what people are encouraging you to do.
I encourage you to explore more courageous encouragement courageously.
Well, good for you.
I am courageous.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you really?
Yes.
How are you courageous?
Because I said so, and I check my facts
I want
with
examples.
myself. One
How
time,
exactly are you
one time,
courageous?
this guy looked like he was gonna pull out in front of me, and so I pulled out in front of him, and he honked his horn and was very upset. But I had the courage to cut him off in traffic.
So you were encouraged to cut him off in traffic.
No, I encouraged him to think twice. And I had the courage to put myself out there into the lane of oncoming traffic.
All right.
That's it? All right? This is a radio podcast experience. For those of you wearing your 3D experience suit, you may have felt that.
How many fingers?
All right, what does the future have in store for our listeners, Jesse?
The future has in store for our listeners more values next week.
I can't wait till instead of shooting bullets, they shoot computer chips that take us over instead.
You rather be taken over the dead?
It'd be cool. What if we just get to be cool robots?
I could live with that.
And we do the bidding of stuff.
I could live with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having my brain in a computer body. I think that would rock.
Dude, we should take your brain
As long as I had control.
and then put it in someone's butt.
I would volunteer for that. If I believed there was a reasonable chance of it succeeding.
For your brain to be put in someone's butt?
No, to be put in somebody's robot body.
What about someone's butt?
Then I'd take my robot foot and stick it up your butt.
Dude, how many feet do you want if you have robot feet?
Oh, that's a good question. Because there is a precedent,
Yeah, you
General
have a
Grievous in
bunch of
Star
feet.
Wars had four arms.
I have 4 arms.
And they came together, so they were like two that would separate on each arm. Oh, shit, we could go 4, no problem.
You have 4 arms?
4 arms?
I have
right?
2 forearms.
2 forearms.
6.
Look at those guns.
All right,
Are
Jesse,
you a stud, Pete?
what do you think about encouragement?
I'm very encouraged by it.
Me too. Alright guys, that's our episode. You guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you throughout the week with a mini episode. We're going to have to release this episode in 2 parts, but you already knew that if you got this far. Don't forget to visit HumboldtComedy.com and please consider becoming one of our many sponsors, including at the Shelter Cove Comedy Festival this June 6th through the 8th. Until later, on Friday mornings, this is Pete Nelson.
Jessica Katz.
And you have been listening to the OoOoh. Alright, this time it wasn't recording.